Hi and welcome, I'm Melanie. So I've come on here today to talk about abandonment as a core wound and the significance of healing this core wound and how this relates to your divine masculine. For those of you who don't know, this is a continuation of one I put out a few days ago. I decided to spread this particular subject over 2 videos because I believed there was a lot of information and felt that it would be easier to digest in 2 separate videos. And so for those of you who maybe haven't seen the first, I would recommend you watching that one first preferably, but it's up to you purely because it will give you a deeper understanding. I can't remember exactly what the title was, however, it was the one I made directly before this one, but I will link it at the end. Anyway, so I talked before about how you would have felt when your divine masculine ran and left you, how abandonment makes you feel. And if abandonment is a core wound, how this will have affected you throughout your life. Also, how to identify if abandonment is a core wound if you are not sure, and the importance of not only looking at your triggers, but also to ask yourself if maybe you have been an overgiver throughout your life and explained why that can be a sign. So today I want to expand that and go a little deeper, sharing how this relates to how you felt when your divine masculine ran and how it is significant in them running. So we have all been programmed to look outside of ourselves for validation and to get a sense of self-worth and to be seen and heard, looking to others to accept and approve of us, and that if others like and love us, then we must matter and that we must have value. And so if you discover abandonment is a core wound, it would most likely have started when you were a child through someone abandoning you, but also could have quite possibly been passed down through past lives as well. So if it is a core wound in this life, it's possible it's because it hasn't been healed in your past lives. And so in order for you to learn the lesson of abandonment and to heal from it, you'll be given the lesson of abandonment again to learn the lesson so you can be free of it forever. So you may have been abandoned physically or emotionally or both. Quite often, for many, it is both. Being abandoned, whether physically or emotionally or both, could have caused you to feel lost and alone, as well as not feeling worthy or good enough, or like you did something wrong, or there was something wrong with you. And it could also have caused you to feel ignored, unseen, or unheard. This could be especially true if the person wasn't there for you emotionally. So they may have been around in a physical sense in your life, but not able to be there for you in an emotional sense. And so being abandoned emotionally, physically, or both could have affected you in all sorts of ways, including overgiving, which I talked about in the last video. You can overgive from fear of being abandoned, partly because of the programming that you've had, that you look outside of yourself to others for everything you yearn for, and partly because of how you felt when you were a child, of feeling alone and lost when you were abandoned, which has caused you to feel unworthy, undeserving and unloved, seeking validation, approval, acceptance and love from others in order for you to gain a sense of feeling valued and loved. Maybe believing that the only way that anyone is going to like and love you and not leave you is if you go above and beyond all the time, even and especially to your detriment, because this is what you felt as a child. And of course, as children, we needed to have the people around us, our parents, caregivers, or significant people that were in our lives to make us feel safe and secure and to have provided us with what we needed to survive and to also feel loved and cared for. And so if this wasn't given to us because of being abandoned in some way, it's going to cause us to feel all those fear-based emotions surrounding this. So when your divine masculine left, your fear of abandonment would have peaked. It would have brought up all those insecurities of how you felt as a child and throughout your life. It would have triggered that pain of being left and feeling helpless and vulnerable. But here's the thing. The reason abandonment is a core wound and has been throughout your whole life and has maybe been passed down from other lives too is because you haven't learnt the lesson of abandonment, the lesson of how you have been abandoning yourself. Being programmed in the way you have, coupled with being abandoned, has firstly caused you to believe you look outside of yourself for all that you yearn for, which then went on to cause you to feel alone, helpless and unloved and vulnerable when that person left you. This led you to believing you needed to be a certain way, for example, to overgive so as not to lose people you cared about. But here's the truth. Through fearing and feeling the pain of abandonment from others, believing you needed others to validate and love you, feeling you weren't worthy, you have abandoned yourself. You have abandoned yourself through all that you have been doing all your life, so as not to lose the love, validation and approval and acceptance of others, so as not to feel alone and lost, helpless and vulnerable. And all this is completely understandable, as you never knew there was another way of being. You were never taught that it doesn't have to be this way. Quite the opposite. However, you have been woken up onto this journey for you to discover the truth, to discover that you were never meant to be looking outside of yourself, to gain a sense of self-worth and validation, to be accepted and loved, and to believe the only way you can feel worthy, accepted and loved is finding it in other people. But instead, for you to show yourself all that you seek from others, because you go within to find all that you seek. From the first time you were abandoned, you would have felt lost, alone, vulnerable, helpless and unworthy, and probably blame towards yourself in some way. And you have carried that within throughout your life, because you were never taught that love, acceptance and a sense of worthiness and to feel valued comes from within. This would have caused you, amongst other things, to overgive, probably to your detriment, maybe always putting yourself last because you were always putting others first. And because of this, you never showed up for yourself. You were never there for yourself. You never believed in yourself or gave yourself the care or love that you deserved because you believed you weren't worthy. You never thought to be there for yourself in the ways that mattered. You always thought, I must give or be a certain way so as to be loved and valued by others. And in doing so, you gave up on yourself. So by your divine masculine running and you going into separation, it would have caused you to feel you have to do everything you can to get them back. All your fears of being abandoned rising to the surface, fueling the chasing, because you thought your divine masculine was finally the person you had been waiting for to complete you, who got you on all levels and who accepted you and who really saw you for who you were, where you didn't have to explain yourself because they just got you. And this was how you were going to find that wholeness and fulfillment that you have always longed for. However, remember, it's not about looking outside of yourself in the physical to find all that you long for. It's about looking within. On a soul level, your divine masculine ran not to cause you pain, but instead to wake you up onto this journey so you could dive deep within to release yourself from all that has caused you pain. And although it may look on the surface in a physical sense, in the physical, like they have abandoned you, on a soul level, when they ran, it was to highlight and help you to look at where you are abandoning yourself, to get you to look at where you are not showing up for you, where you are not loving yourself enough for it all, or where you could be more accepting of yourself. Is it that you are still looping and chasing and are not choosing you? Or maybe you have managed to break free of the looping and chasing energy, but may not be loving or being there for yourself enough, not choosing you enough. Maybe you are still doing some things out of fear and have still not learnt in some way the lesson of not abandoning yourself. Remember, they are you, the divine masculine aspect of you, and are a mirror to what you need to face and heal from. Although you may not feel this at this time, depending on where you are on the journey at the moment, this journey actually is very beautiful and cleverly designed to help you, divine feminine, to heal yourself completely. And whether it is to heal this particular core wound or another, or a trauma, conditionings and programming, this whole journey is designed for you to fully heal so you can come back home. It's important to always bear in mind that you have to clear, cleanse and purge everything out of your energetic body that you have stored within and have healed before inner and physical union can happen. You have to be fully standing in your power, sovereign, whole and complete within, coming from a place of love, not fear. I hope that both of these videos has given you a deeper understanding and more on insight on this to help you heal from this particular core wound so you can shift and move forward on your journey. Always feel free to leave a comment, as I always love to connect with you all through receiving your comments. And if you've made it to the end and enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and give it a thumbs up by liking it, as all this really helps my videos to reach a wider audience. And please reach out if you are struggling. My website has the services I offer. The link is below. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now, and blessed be.